A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudannayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening. Piliandala Police Division and 7 Grama Seva divisions isolated. Army commander requests public not to entertain guests or host any parties at home. Opposition leader cautions against using COVID-19 to gain political mileage. Opposition says time allocated for the debate of the 4th City Economic Commission bill on the 5th is insufficient. 13-year-old Yevan David makes history with international karting win in Belgium.
The first ever winner from his nation.
Detail. The Piliandala Police Division and 7 other Grama Seva divisions were isolated since this morning. Head of the National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 Outbreak, General Shavendra Silva, said that these areas were isolated after an increase in the number of cases reported. Meanwhile, a short while ago, the COVID-19 cases reported today rose to 1,843.
Thereby, the following areas have been placed under quarantine. In the Colombo district, the Piliandala Police Division. In the Trincomalee Police Division in the Trincomalee district, the Ors Hill Grama Seva Division and the Ambualipuram Grama Seva Division. In the Panadura North Grama Seva Division in the Kaluthara district, the Valana North Grama Seva Division, Vakada North Grama Seva Division, Kiriberia Grama Seva Division and Pamula East Grama Seva Division. In the Valapane Police Division in the Nuwara district, the Nildandahinna Grama Seva Division. 60 Grama Seva divisions in 12 districts across the island have been isolated to date from the 21st of April. These include 2 Grama Seva divisions in the Colombo district, 5 divisions in the Kurunegala district, 21 Grama Seva divisions in the Kaluthara district, 4 in the Gampaha district, 9 in the Trincomalee district, 4 Grama Seva divisions in the Gaul district, 2 divisions in the Polonnaruwa district, 3 in the Matale district, 3 in the Ampara district, 5 Grama Seva divisions in the Monaragala district, 1 Grama Seva division in the Ratnapura district and 1 Grama Seva division in the Nuwara district. If you are currently in an area that has been placed under isolation, you must not leave this area under any circumstance. If you use any vehicle to move out of this area, your vehicle will be impounded by police under the quarantine regulations. Also, the residence of these people will be sealed. However, if anyone wants to seek emergency medical treatment, they can travel to the nearest hospital using their private vehicles or any other means of transport. However, if you are experiencing any other mild symptoms, you must contact the police or the public health inspector and they will send an ambulance to take you to a hospital.
Wedding ceremonies are cancelled from tomorrow onwards for a period of 2 weeks. Against a backdrop where we have decided to suspend all other functions, we have received information that some groups are attempting to have functions at homes. This is not good news. We decided to suspend all functions in the country purely for the betterment of the general public. Against a backdrop where we have taken this decision to curb the spread of COVID-19, when people decide to gather at their own homes, the virus will spread rapidly. I would like to request the people of this country to refrain from these activities.
Police operations were carried out today as well in search of people who violate health guidelines. This was the manner in which nearly 30 people who were bathing in Mahoya were strictly advised by police officers. Following the advice, police took steps to vacate the premises. Police and health officials took steps to vacate a group of devotees who were present at a Catholic church in Daluwakotuwa, Kochikade. According to health officials, a group of 40 people are from Katunayaka, Siduwa and Vennapuwa.
එහෙම තියෙනකොට ඔයා බලන්න කරන්නේ රටේ පොදු නීතියට පටහැනි වැඩ කරන්නේ. බලන්න දැන් මේ කට්ටිය දන්කොටු ඉන්නවා. කදිරාණි ඒක තමයි. අපිට තේරුම් ගන්න මීගමු ඉන්නවා. සීනුවත් ඉන්නවා. ඔයා අද මේ කරපලේ හරිද කියලා ඔයාම කියන්නකො.
A group of fishermen who were not wearing masks was strictly advised by police.
ඔයාට මුහුදේදී හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන් අමුතු යාළුවෝ හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන්. පිටස්තර යාළුවෝ හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි දාගෙන මෙහෙන් එන්න එපා. යන්නේ 4යි. එන්නේ කීයද? 4යි 5ක් වෙන්න බෑ. දෙයන්ගේ නාමෙට. පිටස්තර කිසි කෙනෙක් අසල්ලස් රටෙන් මෙහාට එන්න බලයි ගේන්න එපා.
Meanwhile, a program to educate the public implementing health guidelines in an effective manner was held in Battaramulla and Rajagiriya today. The program was organised by the Talangama Police Station and medical health officers attached to the Kotte Municipal Council. The health officials also inspected the supermarkets located in the area as well.
State Minister Sisira Jayakodi said that permission has been granted for the Rajagiriya and Navinna Ayurvedic Hospitals to treat COVID-19 patients.
For the first time in history, Ayurvedic hospitals have been permitted to treat COVID-19 patients. The Borella, Navinna and Maragama Ayurvedic hospitals have been granted this permission. Treatments are being administered at all Ayurvedic hospitals across the country. We administer traditional medicine and Ayurvedic tonics to the patients. As the Ayurvedic department, we will distribute the Osudaraniya medicine free of charge across Sri Lanka.
It has been decided to limit the number of passengers arriving to Sri Lanka by all international airlines to a maximum of 75 passengers from tomorrow. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health stated that the total number of COVID-19 cases in the country has gone past 111,000. So far, 13,161 patients infected with COVID-19 are receiving treatment at hospitals under medical supervision. 764 recoveries were reported today, bringing the total number of recoveries in the country to 97,242. 9 deaths due to COVID-19 were reported yesterday. The total number of casualties in the country rose to 687.
India has become the first country to report more than 400,000 new coronavirus cases in a single day as its nationwide vaccine drive launches amid a supply crisis.
Some 3,523 deaths were officially recorded in the past 24 hours, but the real figure is thought to be far higher as many fatalities go unreported. Since the pandemic began, India has confirmed more than 19 million cases, second only to the US. Meanwhile, Adar Poonawala, Chief Executive Officer of the Serum Institute of India, flew to Britain just before it banned travellers from India. In an interview with the Times of London, the executive Adar Poonawala described menacing calls from some of the most powerful men in India, creating an environment so ugly that he anticipated being out of the country for an extended period while he made plans to start producing vaccines elsewhere. He said the word threats is an understatement. The level of expectation and aggression is really unprecedented.
The Sunday Times reported there is a growing concern about continued arrivals in Sri Lanka from pandemic-stricken India, particularly of workers availing themselves of 14-day quarantine packages sold by some travel agents.
According to the report, since Indians have been barred from directly entering a number of countries from India, many have opted to quarantine in a separate country before travelling to their final destination. Thereby, certain Sri Lankan travel agencies had published advertisements promoting Sri Lanka as a country where Indians can undergo quarantine. The Sunday Times reported that the travel bubble concept for Indian tourists visiting Sri Lanka was misused by two leading travel agencies, and other small-scale travel agencies quickly followed suit in promoting Sri Lanka as a country for quarantine. According to the report, even the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority was caught unaware, and when the SLTDA received word of the developments, the authority, on the 25th of April, quickly drafted guidelines governing international arrivals for the purpose of 14-day quarantine en route to other countries. The regulations state that travel agents and hotels taking such bookings will be responsible to ensure the departure of such guests from the country at the end of the 14-day quarantine period. Quoting the Minister of Tourism, the Sunday Times wrote, quote, Currently, this facility is being used only by Indians, as Pakistanis and Bangladeshis are banned from travelling overseas, unquote. The report adds that the accommodation list quickly expanded from 7 to 13 to 20 as at yesterday. These accommodation locations include bungalows, tourist hotels, boutique hotels and villas and guest houses in Gaul, Vaturugama in the Gampaha district, Kimbisa in the Matale district, Nuwara Eliya, Tangol, Nigambo, Kandy, Ahangama, Colombo, Sigiriya, Dadella in the Gaul district, Bentota, Nakulugamwa in the Hambantota district, Tissamaharama and Deniyaya. However, the cabinet spokesperson expressed these views regarding this matter recently.
පසුගිය දිනක ඊයේ අපිට අහන්න ලැබුණා ඉන්දියානු ජාතිකයන්ට අප රට තුල නිරෝධායන ක්‍රියාවලියකට භාජන වීමට අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙනවා කියලා.
ඒකෙන් නම් කියන පට්ටපල් බොරුවක්.
When we inquired on the matter from the Airport and Aviation Services Private Limited, they confirmed that no new regulations were issued following the surge of COVID-19 cases in India. Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka Private Limited added that there is no ban on Indians entering Sri Lanka. The media spokesperson of the Immigration and Emigration Department, Gayan Milinda, said that there is no restriction on Indians entering Sri Lanka.
This is a completely wrong procedure. As soon as the GMOA was informed of this, we lodged a strong protest against it. We have informed the minister in charge of COVID. She said that this will be stopped. The official authority under the quarantine ordinance is the Director General of Health Services. When we inquired from the Director General of Health Services today regarding this matter, he confirmed that no permission was granted for any such activities. If that is the case and no permission has been granted, what is being done is illegal. Doing such a thing in the country is extremely dangerous. When India is facing such a serious situation, we have now started a quarantine business with India. The PCR tests in India are being conducted by the private sector. The Health Ministry does not know about the entire quarantine procedure. The airport authorities do not know where the people who arrive will be staying. There is also no oversight by the Ministry of Health and assurance that these people were quarantined. The arrivals are taken by the hotel and dropped off by the hotel. How can we be sure that the UK variant did not come into the country through one of these travel bubbles? We are now only missing the Indian variant in the country. Who will be held responsible if the Indian variant makes its way into Sri Lanka as a result of these advertisements? This is a serious issue. How have they come here? Did they come by air? We are suspicious as to if this is another business that they are conducting similar to what was done in the past. Today everything has been converted into a business. If the government is not intervening in this matter because they are scared of India, or if the friendly businessmen of the government have made a business out of this, then we cannot curb the spread of COVID-19 in the country. This is clear.
However, the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, rejecting the report published by Sunday Times, said that only 849 Indians have come to Sri Lanka under the travel bubble concept. The authority added that although the limits on arrivals from India were not published due to political reasons and international relations, visas were not issued to them since the 30th of last month. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority said that a travel agency had published an advertisement stating that Indians can quarantine themselves in Sri Lanka, and added that an investigation has been launched into this incident.
Meanwhile, views were expressed regarding businesses providing quarantine facilities in the country for Indian tourists.
While the desperate are dying on the streets, the able have chartered their flights and are flying to other countries. We know that Italy and Singapore have imposed travel bans. Sri Lankans are not welcomed there. Flights and airports have been closed. But the sad situation is that this country has come to a state where we are accepting garbage from around the world through open airports. This is a scam. Today advertisements are put out inviting Indians to be quarantined here. This is a menace. What they are trying to bring in are deaths. Why can't the government comprehend this? The health authorities, doctors' associations and Minister Fernando Pulle are constantly reiterating that we must go for a lockdown. However, These ignorant rulers are letting Indians come here and further enhance the spread. We see today Indians being brought here in batches. That responsibility is given to businesses, which they have ties to. We know that an article has been published on the Sunday Times newspaper citing these companies. Companies like Comfort International, Sri Lanka Tours, and an Indian travel company named Akbar Travels have been vested with the responsibility to bring Indians to this country for quarantine purposes. Why are our ignorant rulers trying to create a huge crisis by bringing Indians in batches for quarantine purposes when our citizens are banned from gathering near a tank for a bath? By allowing Indians to come here, they are endangering the lives of our citizens.
The leader of the opposition reiterated to set aside narrow political mileage in order to overcome the serious health crisis prevailing in the country.
Amidst the ongoing health crisis the country is experiencing, we have personally contacted foreign embassies and made a request from them to support our country in getting the required amount of vaccines. Especially with the rapid spread of the virus, there is a requirement of mobile field hospitals. We have already requested countries like the US, the UK and Australia to give us mobile hospital units and field hospitals. We will not try to achieve any political objectives using the pandemic. This is not an opportunity for political struggles. I request the rulers to put aside personal agendas and pay attention to this great endeavor. Eliminate COVID-19. Don't let the country slide into more chaos due to an internal struggle.
David marked history for Sri Lanka by being the first Sri Lankan to win a European pre-final karting race at the 2021 Champions of the Future Round 1, which was held in Genk, Belgium. The young Ivan is 13 years old.
I'm really proud to represent my country, Sri Lanka, to be the first Sri Lankan to win in Europe. Honestly, it's been great to carry this pride for Sri Lanka. Next week, there's another race for the European Championship at the same place. So hoping to do good then, hoping to improve further and ultimately win in the final.
Right, moving on to more political stories. A debate on the Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill has resurfaced as the debate on the bill is scheduled to be taken up in Parliament on the 5th of May. Following are several views expressed in that regard.
මේ ගැන අපි පරිශීලනය කරන්නලා මේ ගැන හොඳ විවාදයක් කරන්න සුදුසු පනතක්.
This is a bill that is worthy of studying before the debate. But why is the debate taken up on the 5th? Why is it only taken up on one day? This week we were notified that parliamentary proceedings will be held on Tuesday and Wednesday. It is because of the pandemic. Is the virus spreading only on the days where the parliament does not convene? No. Therefore, I would like to ask the government to convene parliament on Thursday and Friday as well.
බ්‍රහස්පති සිකුරාදා දින දෙකේ තියලා මේ විවාදයට තව දින දෙක තුනක් දෙන්න මේ කාලේ.
ප්‍රධාන දේ තමයි අපිට Why would we delay the opening of the port city if we want to bring the bill in an expeditious manner? When we manage to control the spread of the virus, we have to expedite the development process of the country. We have talked about 2 turning points required for the development of our country. No one will be able to stop our country becoming the next Singapore or the next Malaysia after the Colombo port city.
රට සිංගප්පූරුවක් බවට පත් වෙන එක මැලේසියාවක් බවට පත් වෙන එක නතර කරන්න බෑ.
දැන් ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයට
21 petitions have been filed at the Supreme Court. Even the Bar Association went before the courts. The main reason behind it is that this bill is against the common law in the country. Even the Sri Lanka Bar Association have requested to hold a public referendum in addition to a 2/3 majority vote in Parliament. The court has given an order to the Speaker of Parliament and the President. But nobody knows about that. They are trying to pass this with or without amendments. I think this will be tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. They are trying to pass this in one day. Shouldn't the people of this country get to know when the geographical map of this country is subjected to change? Shouldn't a public referendum be held regarding this? We have gained 1,115 acres more. China has spent $1.4 billion for that. Will China stay still without taking over control?
ඩොලර් බිලියන 1.4ක් ඒ කියන්නේ කෝටි 28000ක් ලබා දීලා චීනේ නිකන් ඉදීද? චීනේ කවමදාකවත් නිකන් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. කෝටි 28000ක් වියදම් කරලා ඔවුන්ගේ පාලනය ගන්නේ නැතුව.
The proposal to sell off the west terminal of the Colombo port to a company is not a part of our economic strategy. The requirements to sell off the west jetty is there because of the funds we have borrowed and the loans we have obtained from India. The special bill for the port city, which was administered through the elimination of 7 existing bills allowing foreign representatives be appointed, was not put in effect as part of the economic strategy of the country. We have to take part in the port city development project as a part of the Chinese economic strategy. The children and the close associates of the rulers who made the decision will not be victims of unemployment. Its victims will be the children of normal citizens.
Paddy farmers and pumpkin farmers of Mahavilachya and Anuradhapura are greatly inconvenienced due to the lack of fertilizer.
1/3 of pumpkin produce in Anuradhapura comes from Mahavilachya. Currently, these farmers are made to wait after preparing the ground for cultivation as there is no fertilizer to plant the seeds. According to the farmers, the holes that are dug for the planting of pumpkin seeds should be first filled with fertilizer 5 days before the cultivation can take place. Though the paddy farmers have started sowing their land, they too are inconvenienced due to the lack of fertilizer.
බයිල ගහනවා කුසිකර්ම ඇමතුමා. නමුත් මෙවට අවශ්‍ය විදිහට මේ ගොයි බින් වලට ඇවිල්ලා මොනවද මිනිස්සුන්ට කෙරෙන්න ඕනේ මොනවද කියන එක ඒ කට්ටිය මේවා ගැන හොයලා බලන්න. කෙහෙල් මුවේ කෙහෙල් ගහෙන් එන්නා වගේ එකපාරම තීරණය අරගෙන ගොයියෝ අමාරු දාන්න වැඩ කරන්න එපා.
Area residents allege that a plot of state-owned land in Oyamadu and Anuradhapura has been cleared out under the guise of making way for a corn cultivation.
According to the residents, a private company had cleared out about 1,000 acres of land in the area. Many valuable trees, including kumbuk trees, on the plot of land have been cut down. Representatives of the All Ceylon Farmers Association visited the location to investigate the environmental destruction taking place in the area. If a person cuts down a branch in this forest, they will be thrown in jail. They are produced in court with all of their equipment. No one can destroy trees like this, even if the land belongs to the state. He then contacted the wildlife conservation official in charge of Tantirimale and informed him of the situation. Although the official assured that he will visit the location in an hour, neither the official nor any representative visited the location, according to our correspondent. Area residents point out that officials must immediately inquire into the destruction taking place in the area.
And in sports news, the second test encounter between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh was played for the 4th day today at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. Chasing a mammoth total of 437 runs, the visitors were at 177 runs for the loss of 5 wickets at the end of day's play. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Prime Time News. Thank you very much for joining us. For the News First team, I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka, together with our interpreter this evening, Brian De Cruz. Good night.